Welcome to TCS Yes. My name is Kevin Smith, and on behalf of Transylvania County Schools, we are glad you are with us. We bring you this show every Thursday afternoon from 3:25 to 4 o'clock on WSQL Radio, Q102 FM, 1240 AM, and WSQLradio.com for the online stream. It's always a pleasure to bring you the great news that's happening with the students, the educators, the families, and the community partners who make up the family of Transylvania County Schools. There are too many good things going on for us not to be here, and we appreciate your listening to us. Today we have a great show. We're talking about music in schools, and we're going to feature interviews with Mary Beth Shoemate, who is remembered by many as the chorus teacher and a huge contributor to the musical productions for decades at Brevard High School. She's a board member of the Brevard Philharmonic and is also conductor of choruses across Transylvania and Henderson counties. We're so excited she could be with us to tell us a little bit more about music in schools on behalf of her and her friend Jinx Ramsey, who have been there since the very beginning. We also want to share with you a little sample from the Elementary All-County Chorus Festival. We appreciate Robert Waller coming from Valley Springs Middle School in Buncombe County. He did a great job with our students in the 4th and 5th grade, and we want you to hear that musical sample today. We'll play another show later with the entire concert for you. And then finally, stay tuned for information about the Kindergarten Readiness Rally, Thursday, April 12th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Transylvania County Parks and Rec. Out at the Activity Center, there will be dozens of nonprofits. Our schools will be there, and we hope a couple hundred kids will come with their families. Not just 5-year-olds, but 3- and 4-year-olds as well, because you can meet Rise and Shine, Boys and Girls Club, local fire and law enforcement, many of the people, Hendersonville Pediatrics and others who would like to get to know our young families in Transylvania County better. Stay tuned. You're listening to TCS Yes. We have a great show for you. Thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we're talking about music in our schools, and we are so happy to have Mary Beth Shoemate for a number of reasons, from the Brevard Philharmonic and also as a former chorus teacher at Brevard High School, and so much more than that. Mary Beth, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you can make this time to talk on the phone to tell us about what's been going on with Music in Schools, a program of the Brevard Philharmonic, but I don't want to jump to that too quickly. I've been reading with a lot of interest your friend and mine, Jinx Ramsey, writing some articles in the Transylvania Times, and the most recent one coming out is about Candace Burchill and the theater program at Brevard High School. She does some really interesting things that go beyond a normal stage play or one-act programs or even the musical. Tell me about what you remember from your time at Brevard High School and why this work that Mrs. Burchill is doing is so important.
The work with special needs students is so important and so rewarding. The arts can reach the brain in many capacities that nothing else can reach. And whenever I was teaching, my work with those students was absolutely dear to my heart. We did a lot of music, taught a lot of music concepts. We would do small programs. And now then Candace has just taken it to the next level with doing talent shows and really rewarding memorable performances that mean a lot to these students and the people involved in their lives.
For folks who don't know, at Brevard High School, there's a group called Project Unify, which is organized by the Special Olympics and our teacher, Sarah Plum. And these students have a lot of opportunities to streamline their own activities with regular education students. So our exceptional kids, EC, what we call it in schools, those children often have an opportunity to do a lot of things together. This variety show, talent show, music and dance, and even some short drama on stage is one of the most colorful and most entertaining events of the year, because these students, as you say, really do have some incredible abilities, and watching the way they light up with each other and when they work with their teachers and with their fellow students, I'll be honest with you, these are some of my favorite moments of the year.
Absolutely. Just precious.
Well, so we're so excited that Ms. Ramsey has been taking such an interest in that, and she really has made her mark with you. So I'm so grateful that we had some time with you today. I know that you're both traveling, so getting a hold of you people is sometimes a big challenge, and here we are. We're going to talk about music in schools. We just celebrated Music in Our Schools Month. That's nationally. But Music in Schools is a year-long program of the Brevard Philharmonic. It's been going on for quite some time. Maybe you can tell us about what you remember from when it got started.
It was Jinx Ramsey, actually, who organized and pulled it together in the form that we know it today. There were performers that would come into the schools, but not in a consistent, organized way.
Right.
That Jinx pulled together. And what Jinx Ramsey did was to have a certain set of performers come to each grade level so that every single student in Transylvania County has an opportunity to be exposed to symphonic arts.
And of course, in the middle and high schools, we have things like chorus and orchestra and band. But for grades K through 5 now, at some point during every school year, a student will cycle through these programs. So if you're with our schools from kindergarten through 5th grade, you'll end up with 6 different experiences with the Brevard Philharmonic. Is that what I understand?
That is absolutely correct, and it covers the entire orchestra in separate segments, for each grade level that is appropriate to their age. The Brevard Philharmonic is very committed to outreach in the schools, to educating our students musically, as a supplement, of course, to all the wonderful music teaching that goes on a daily basis. But bringing real live instruments into the schools is a goal of Brevard Philharmonic. We have 6 different grade levels that we expose the students to.
Right.
Starting with kindergarten.
I know, so young, so little, and they're already going to get introduced to this. So what can we do with kindergartners?
With kindergarten, we expose them in a general way to each family of the orchestra. We call it Meet the Orchestra.
Nice.
Don Walkup is in charge of this, and his twin brother actually is a composer. So for the first time this year, he asked his brother to compose a piece for kindergarten level, and they premiered it during the Music in the Schools performances. And it it included the big 3 of all the students that age, and it included an arrangement of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Happy Birthday, and Jingle Bells. Did the kids love it? Yes, they did.
Oh my gosh, Meet the Orchestra for kindergartners. And then, there's coming into the schools, and then there's a mix as the students get older. I know we've seen them go out into performance venues. So what do the 1st and 2nd graders do while they're still in school?
1st graders have the Camerata recorders come, and this is headed up by Sharon Hafner.
Oh, yes.
And the recorders she uses recorders to teach so many scientific and mathematical concepts in addition to the musical concepts that they see. They bring the soprano, alto, tenor, bass. They have about 8 to 10 different sizes of recorders, and the children are just awed by the recorders. Plus, they come in early music costumes.
Oh, so this is the Music Antiqua group that comes and performs period music on beautiful instruments, and I'm sure the kids get a huge lift from all of that.
They love it. 2nd grade actually has a field trip to Brevard College Porter Center to learn about percussion instruments.
A grand day out, their first time, and that's right.
Justin Mabry, the percussion instructor at Brevard College, has his college percussion students perform And they just show a huge array of percussion instruments demonstrated and performed for the second grade students. It's also a great awing experience to be in the Porter Center for these young students.
It's when I say a grand day out, it really is a chance for these students to do something that they might never have done in their lives. We're talking with Mary Beth Shumate about music in schools, a program of the Brevard Philharmonic, and obviously we're tipping our hat to Jinx Ramsey. Want you to keep reading articles in the newspaper. We're going to take a short break and actually bring you some music from our students from the Elementary All-County Chorus. When we come back after that, we'll talk some more with Mary Beth Shumate here on TCS Yes.
Can You Hear Me by Bob Chilcott. performed by the 4th and 5th graders of Transylvania County Schools from Brevard Elementary, Pisgah Forest Elementary, Rosman Elementary, and T.C. Henderson School of Science and Technology under Robert Waller from Valley Springs Middle School, who visited us from Buncombe County Schools. The students were not only singing in 2 parts, but performing in sign language as this song was composed. On March 27th at the Transylvania Elementary All-County Chorus Festival in the Brevard High School Auditorium. We're talking about music in schools this week, and that's why we've been sharing not only this music from that festival, but also talking with people like Mary Beth Shoemate, and we'll turn back to that interview next.
We are back. Thanks for listening to TCS Yes. I'm Kevin Smith, and we've got Mary Beth Shoemate on the line. We're talking about music in schools. And Mrs. Shoemate, you mentioned the kindergarten, 1st and 2nd graders, the great programs that they have. Let's pick up and help folks see what the rest of our students experience. What are 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders do thanks to the Brevard Philharmonic?
3rd grade has the string family that they focus on, and we are so fortunate to have the renowned Opal String Quartet present lessons to each 3rd grader in the county. They are extremely professional and also present these performances in Buncombe County and other places. So we are really grateful to have Opal String Quartet. And then in the 4th grade, those students have the Pyramid Brass Quintet, and Herb Wolf is in charge of that. He is going to be bringing his quintet into the schools next week to perform for every 4th grader, and it's great. They show the history of the brass instruments, play lots of fun music, and demonstrate each different kind of brass instrument.
So many partners make this possible, and so many people coming in and out of the schools all year long. But I know you're coming up to 5th grade, which is honestly the granddaddy of them all. It's become such a showpiece. Mary Beth, tell me about how that program has come together.
5th graders are invited to the huge culminative concert of Brevard Philharmonic. It culminates all of their learning that they've had up to the 5th grade. So they actually come to Brevard Philharmonic to hear them perform in the Porter Center. And Jeremy Gibbs, director of...
He's the chief academic officer, but don't be fooled. Dr. Gibbs has a long history as a musician in his own right, as a director, and so the fact that he's taken the podium for these past couple shows has been a real neat treat for us.
Absolutely. His orchestras in the past were rated top-notch. They just had all kinds of honors. He's very much a musician. So we are very fortunate to have Jeremy Gibbs to conduct the past 2 concerts in lieu of searching for a new conductor for the Philharmonic.
That's right. We want to throw in a quick shout out for our students from Brevard Elementary last year, Trayvon and Emma Bailey. This year, it's not that Dr. Gibbs couldn't handle the whole concert, but giving these students a chance to step up to the podium and direct the El Capitan March by John Philip Sousa, that has been such, I imagine for the other students who are sitting there in the audience, it must be a huge inspiration for them to see, wow, I really could do this. I could sit in any one of those chairs, or I could even be at the head of that orchestra someday.
Exactly. And to have a student conduct and perform in front of a huge audience is really a big deal. And they have done such a good job with that.
A huge shout out to Sarah Moser, Carolyn Smith, Laura Sullivan for what they've been doing to get their students ready for these programs, because to have a program like music in schools, it's great to have community partners coming into the school, but the amount of work going on behind the scenes to help the students be ready to fit this into their curriculum, to make it work. Again, just a huge shout out to what Jinx Ramsey has done with the Philharmonic, and you, Mary Beth, on the board, as well as to our music teachers.
Well, thank you. There's one more little component to the Music in the Schools program.
It goes on and on.
It does. It's called Donate Your Instrument. A
Oh,
lot of
yes.
people have instruments in their closets that they no longer play, that they don't use anymore. So they can be donated to the Philharmonic. We will refurbish them and then get them out to the students, and we'll donate them back to the schools. So if you have an instrument that you would like to donate, call the Brevard Philharmonic office at 884-4221 and leave a message, and we'll be glad to get back to you and see about arranging to get an instrument that you'd like to donate.
Mary Beth, what kind of instruments have been donated in the past? For folks who might have these instruments at home and they're not really exactly sure what to do with them, or if they see one out in the marketplace and they say, wow, that would be a great find for these kids. How has this DYI, again, it sounds like DIY, but DYI, Donate Your Instrument program, what kinds of things have come to the schools through that?
We've had violins, violas, flutes, clarinets, trumpets.
Wow.
You just name it. It has been very helpful.
All the way
Very,
across
very
the whole
helpful.
orchestra. That's great.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
I heard you mention the conductor search, and we don't want to leave without putting a plug in for what the Philharmonic is doing right now. There's been a new conductor for each of the most recent performances because the Philharmonic is in a search this year.
Absolutely. We've had 3 wonderful conductors so far, and this Sunday, April the 8th at 3 p.m. in the Brevard College Porter Center, we will be having our final artistic director conductor candidate, and that's James Fellenbaum, and he's currently the resident conductor of the Knoxville Symphony Orchestra. So we are very excited to have him as our guest conductor this Sunday. Our guest performer will be a violinist, Jennifer Frautschi, and she will be performing also. A 2-time Grammy nominee.
Wow. So we've got a guest conductor coming in as well as a Grammy-nominated violinist this Sunday, April the 8th at 3 o'clock, the Brevard Philharmonic. So for more details on tickets or on the Donate Your Instrument program or music in schools, we want to direct everyone to brevardphilharmonic.org. That's brevardphilharmonic.org, or you can call 884-4221. Mary Beth Shumate, one last word about watching students who, we've been playing some music today from the All-County Chorus. We're talking about the Music in Schools program. You yourself have an incredibly storied history with our student musicians as well as with their performances on stage and now musicians out in the world. How do you do it? How do you keep this music going year after year after year?
I think the music does it. You just, I just showed the kids the stage and they took over with the music, with the theater. It's so much a part of what we need as individuals. We need that avenue of expression. We need music to touch our souls, and it just keeps going.
Well, I could not agree more for so many reasons, and I'm really glad that we had this time with you. We've been talking with Mary Beth Shumate, former chorus teacher and musical director at Brevard High School, a board member of the Brevard Philharmonic, talking to us about music in schools, and again, with a huge hat tip to our friend and partner, Jinx Ramsey, who's helped to put these programs together for so many years. Thank you for being with us, Mary Beth, and good luck on your trip.
Thank you.
Don't go away. You're listening to TCS Yes. We still have information about the Kindergarten Readiness Rally and one more song from the Transylvania Elementary All-County Chorus Festival before we're done today. Let's turn now to a conversation we had with Stacy Gash about the Kindergarten Readiness Rally. You're listening to TCS Yes. Here on TCS yesterday, we're talking with Stacy Gash, who's the area manager for WCCA, that's Western Carolina Community Action, for all of Transylvania County. Stacy, thanks for taking this time to tell us about the Kindergarten Readiness Rally.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We are very excited that next Thursday, the 12th of April, from 4 to 7 p.m., you've extended an invitation to a lot of special people to come and see you at the rec department. What's going on?
We are having the 3rd annual Kindergarten Readiness Rally in support of school readiness and to kick off kindergarten registration and promote that as well with Transylvania County Schools.
Outstanding. You have, I've been to this event now. This will be the third time. It's so much fun. I see so many cool things happening. So for families with 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, they're looking at kindergarten, or maybe not this year, but soon. What are the kinds of organizations and what are the kinds of activities they'll find if they come to the rally?
Right. Well, lots of times we have people who do planning activities, coloring activities, gluing activities, kind of promoting those fine motor skills. We also have United Way, Transylvania County Schools there. They come, they bring all their teachers for kindergarten registration. We also have Boys and Girls Club, Rise and Shine, Sheriff's Department, Police Department, Fire Department. Highway Patrol is actually going to join us this year. We also have LLIC, Hendersonville Pediatrics. It's about 30 nonprofits that will be there this year.
Wow. Behind all of the fun, again, like there's so much fun to do. But there's something really serious at work here, because you, in your work, you all have 3 sites. You're at Rosman Elementary, Brevard Elementary, here at the Hillview Center for Kids. You're working with children to get them ready for school. And how many students are you already working with over the course of the year?
Oh, we have about, roughly here at Hillview, we have 100 students and about 154 total in the county that we're serving.
And there's a lot more that will begin kindergarten next year than that. So we know that there are families out there who really, it's a good time to get connected and see who the folks are that are ready to provide these really important services, whether it's school registration or these nonprofits that you mentioned. So when people come, what should they expect to do? What's the first thing they'll do when they come to the rally?
Well, when you come to the rally, you'll check in and you'll get a bag, and that's your student will use that bag and go around and have something to put their activities in. We also have Transylvania County Library, who also donates free books every year, and that's a big draw, and we truly appreciate that, right? So it's, you just go around to each table, you stop, you talk, you do your activity, you put it in your bag, and you just get some information.
Right. This is similar to what goes on in Henderson County. I know folks are familiar with that event for maybe 15 years now. Hundreds and hundreds of families go to Blue Ridge Mall. But here, even though it's growing each year, there's so much fun stuff to do. I did not see a single corner of the recreation department that was idle. The kids are playing games, they're making things all throughout the place. So from 4 to 7, families really were there pretty much the whole time is what I remember.
Right. We try and extend the hours to 7 o'clock because a lot of people do work later. So we want to make sure everybody has the benefit of coming through and seeing what we have to offer. It's, it's a great event.
So tell me about students getting ready for kindergarten with you right now. You're focused on that all day, every day. What would you say are the biggest things that you want parents to know in terms of helping kids get ready for school?
Well, here, we kind of do the premise of kids learn through play. So they're learning through doing writing activities that they don't really realize that, hey, I'm learning.
Fooled you.
Yeah. They're learning when they're playing in the water table and they're doing measuring and counting. They're learning when they're playing in the sand table and they're doing other activities or outside. They don't really realize I'm learning because they think they're just playing. Kids learn through play.
Right. So great that so many of those outside agencies that you mentioned, like police and fire, will be there. Rise and Shine and the Boys and Girls Club. We were talking just before recording the show, and it occurred to me, a lot of these folks, it's a great idea to plug in when you're getting ready for kindergarten. Families with 3 and 4-year-olds not quite ready for school yet, there's probably something for them to get out of this too.
Absolutely. We also have Hendersonville Pediatrics, who is joining us this year, and they want to promote what kids need to be ready to go and enter into kindergarten, immunizations and physicals. And there are there's a lot of information that families can just get to serve their family and utilize that later on. So it is basically, it could serve the whole family.
We just want to put a shout out to Stacy Gash and the folks here at WCCA. Western Carolina Community Action in Transylvania County is putting on its 3rd annual Kindergarten Readiness Rally. You've seen the banners up around town. You should see some flyers in the Rosman, Balsam Grove, Lake Toxaway, Pisgah Forest, all over Brevard and Transylvania County. Thursday, April the 12th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Transylvania County Recreation Department. We look forward to seeing you there. And Stacy, thanks for everything you're doing.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate Transylvania County Schools, Smart Start, and the Family Place, and everyone who participates to make this event happen.
That's great. We'll see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Kevin Smith, and we're happy to bring you this show every Thursday afternoon from 3:25 to 4 o'clock here on WSQL Radio, Q102 FM, 1240 AM, and WSQLradio.com for the online stream. We also hope you'll look up old episodes of the show on SoundCloud and on YouTube. Just search for Transylvania County Schools. Be with us every week. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to learn more and to stay on top of the great news happening throughout Transylvania County Schools. We look forward to being with you again next week on Thursday, April the 12th, but don't forget to add to your calendar the Kindergarten Readiness Rally, Thursday the 12th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Transylvania County Parks and Rec Department. And let's go out with one more song. This is Wolly Doodle, a great crowd pleaser, the finale from the Transylvania Elementary All-County Chorus Festival. Thanks to Robert Waller and the music teachers in all of our elementary schools. On March 27th, you're listening to TCS Yes. Visit us again next week. Take care. You've been listening to TCS Yes, a production of Transylvania County Schools.